Hi there. Welcome back or welcome to Recovering Out Loud podcast, the show where we get real about mental health and addiction. I'm so glad you're here. If you or someone you love is struggling with drugs or alcohol, please reach out for help. Send me a message on all social media platforms at Recovering Out Loud Pod or by email at recoveringoutloudpod@gmail.com. You are no longer alone. Oh, Tom, my good friend Tom, welcome back to Recovering Out Loud, buddy. I'm so glad you came back and, I didn't scare you away the first time. So.
No, man, I just worry I'm showing a bit too much chest.
It's hot outside today.
Chest here.
Yeah. You bike everywhere, don't you?
I bike everywhere. Sometimes I catch myself like on transit. Like,
if you want to fix that,
what do I do? Go like this?
Yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I catch myself like on transit and I'm like, wow. It's kind of like a vacation for me.
Yeah.
Look at all these people. They do this every day.
My legs aren't moving.
Oh, This is kind of nice. The worst is when I decide, okay, I'm not going to ride my bike, and then I hop on a streetcar or something, and I'm sitting there and I see all the bikes going by, and I'm like, this is the worst mistake I've made all week.
Yeah, I could be flying right now.
Yeah, exactly. It drives me nuts.
I do that a lot, yeah.
It's a huge, I try and tell people early in recovery too. They're like, what should I do? I'm like, get a fucking bike, man. Because, I mean, first of all, like I got back into biking in my 20s. And it's exactly what it feels like when you're a kid. And I became a bike messenger because of it. I just fell in love with it. But also in early recovery, we're looking for any reason not to go to a meeting. And for me, when it's winter, transit, I'd be like, no, I'm not going. But like I will ride across town in a blizzard to a meeting. And that's like one of the high points of my week.
Yeah, I've seen you do it too.
Yeah. I ride all year.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's amazing.
I mean, I live across town from Corktown. And the first like 2 months, I got sober in December. And so all winter I was riding it. It was just like, this is my penance.
You deserve this.
I deserve this.
Yeah.
And honestly, like it helped motivate me, because you feel like such a piece of shit when you first get sober. And those little things about trying to, show yourself that like, oh no, I'm capable of doing hard stuff once in a while, so. Anyways, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. I even put on a shirt for you today.
Nice. Me too. Seriously, I'm soaked. It's air conditioning here, but it's a toasty.
Which wasn't always
summer.
the case. We had one guy in here that was not the guy was fixing the air conditioning. So I'm grateful for air conditioning today.
Yeah. Oh God, I love it. I love air conditioning so much. I spent my first 4 or 5 summers in Toronto without air conditioning. And then when I got air conditioning, I was like subletting some loft or something for a year. That summer, I didn't leave all summer. Turns out that they deliver booze and cocaine.
Yeah, and cocaine too. Oh.
And the only thing I was eating was popsicles, and I gained 35 pounds. Not eating food. I wasn't eating food. I was just eating popsicles.
Yeah, the sugar. Yeah.
Fuck, it's baffling how you're not eating anything, but somehow you're like, I'm like, oh man, I'm like drug chic. And you look at yourself and you're like just puffed out. And just look like death.
I was looking at a video of, I'm happy that I've taken a bunch of my videos of myself like in addiction.
Yeah, that's
because
good.
it's a good reminder of and to your point, it's like the first thing I noticed is like the bags under the eyes, right? And then the puffy face and just the despair in my eyes, right? Like you can just see it.
I love it too, because I've looked at some of them and remembered, I thought I looked good in this photo. Yeah. And I'm so fat. I just actually posted to my sober channel, Practically Sober.
Yeah. Check it out.
Where it was like 3 weeks before I got sober, and I was on a plane and I had a broken shoulder. I was flying back from Florida, I think. And I remembered taking it and thinking, I look good in this. And when you see it, I'll send it to you. I look like a Temu version of myself. I don't look anything like me. Yeah.
But to your point, it's like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Right?
Yeah.
And then one of those drinking escapade injuries that we seem to accumulate in active addiction and alcoholism, broken shoulder. How'd you break your shoulder?
I was staying on a boat. I was shooting a band, but it was at a rich musician's house down in Fort Lauderdale. And I showed up and was like, okay, what room am I in? They're like, oh, you're in the yacht parked out back. And I'm like,
Fine, I'll take it.
There's a bar in the yacht. And I just, there's lots of steps in a boat, and I turned all the lights off and it just fell and dislocated my shoulder.
Oh my God.
And it cracked. And the first thing I thought was, I didn't get travel insurance. So
in the US.
I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And it was out for a little bit. And I was like, I'm going to have to go to the airport and fly back to Canada with a dislocated shoulder.
Oh my God.
Because otherwise it's going to cost me like $30,000, $40,000 or something. And then I just grabbed a curtain rod and popped it back in.
Oh.
And I'm suffering, man. Like, it hurts right now.
To this day, you're still paying for it.
Yeah, I'm going in for some free Canadian MRIs
Beautiful.
in 2 weeks. Yeah, so
it's a beautiful thing living in this country.
Oh, I love Canada.
Yeah,
I love it.
me too, man.
Yeah.
Some days I really have to remind myself that I have it pretty good.
Yeah.
Or when I'm talking to people, about trying to get them into treatment and they're complaining about the free rehab that we have in the waiting lists. It's like, yeah, it sucks, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll wait.
it's free. you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I booked these MRIs, I don't know, 2 months ago. That's fine. They're not, I got a hernia right now. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, you can see it. It's right there. It's my little buddy. And they were like, I don't know, you want to get it fixed? I'm like, is it fine? He's like, lose some weight. I'm like,
That's it?
all right,
Oh.
that's okay. He's like, then we can throw on the list. It's fine. It'll be free.
Huh.
So, cause I broke in like 30 bones in my life and haven't paid a dime for any of them.
Most of those were drinking related?
No.
Or like just
No, almost none of them actually. Well, okay, here's the thing. I mean, I was drunk all day, every day for 20 something years. So I was drunk for a lot of them. But it was because I was skateboarding, because I was looking at a girl on my bike and I hit a tree. Some of them were drinking related. Getting punched in the face. That would have been me running my mouth when I was drunk.
Yeah, which you probably wouldn't have done so.
And I got a punchable face. So I think I said that in the last
I don't think
podcast
so.
too. Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, no, you probably said that, but I don't think you have a
Yeah.
punchable face.
Well,
I've seen some pretty
not in
punchable
Toronto.
faces.
Back in Vancouver, it was apparently the #1 punchable face because I was just getting hit by strangers on the street.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, man. It's, today was a tough one today. I was telling you outside, I got fired from my other job, which I was like driving here today and I'm like, should I talk about this? Should I not talk about this?
Lay it on me.
Yeah. And I don't come on here and try to get although it would be great to get pity, right? Because I love people feeling sorry for me. Yeah. Oh no, stop, keep going.
In my veins.
Yeah, right. But it's like, I got to be honest. And I started this podcast to be fully honest. And I knew I was going to get fired. I saw it coming. It turns out when you don't put in 100% effort, like people notice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it was coming. I was spending too much time doing this stuff. And it hurts still, it still hurts when your ego takes that hit. And we were talking about it outside. It's like, I'm not doing any of the work. I'm not meeting my responsibilities. But I should still be getting paid.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
No, you got yourself in this situation, and now it's time to navigate yourself back out, right? So there's a lot of positives. I can spend more time on my other job, right? It's going to be okay, but it's scary, right? Especially living in Toronto, you have bills to pay.
Yeah, it's the uncertainty of not being a very wealthy person, I'll say. When those things happen, I honestly I use so the other day I'm hanging out with 2 old friends who went to film school together. We're in one of their fucking penthouses over on Roncy overlooking Sororan Park. And my buddy Doug, he's in town from LA and they wouldn't let him back in the country.
In the state, they wouldn't let him.
Yeah, he lives in Santa Monica. But one friend, he produces all these big movies for Netflix. And then Doug has Emmys and stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this makes me feel bad about myself. And I had to catch myself and remember that, look, my life is my life, but also they didn't have to go through 25 years of crushing alcoholism, and I use that as not as an excuse, but also just a reason for me to go easy on myself, one thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is just the commonality, the how common it is to be alcoholic. I just put out a video the other day. It's like, we're alcoholics and that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not what we think it is. We're not special. There are, I don't know, hundreds of millions of us, hundreds of millions of us around the world. And it's completely fine find to be an alcoholic. And so for me, understanding that means that I can give myself a break, you know, like no one gets mad at someone who gets fucking throat cancer and they're like, weren't you doing better in your life?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I got a box.
Yeah. Why do you keep having that cancer? It's really annoying.
Exactly. Do you know what that cancer is doing to my productivity?
Yeah.
You know, no, it's we got to give ourselves a lot of grace to be able to say, just accept where we are, say mistakes were made, and where do we go from here? As long as we're doing the right things, then you know, just keep moving forward.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Is like, it's really hard to get mad at somebody that's trying. You know? And I can honestly say I spent the better part of, you know, probably 8 to 10 years in active addiction, not trying, like really not trying, not working on myself. And yeah, it's very easy for me to go back and, well, you know, I was in active alcoholism and addiction. So like, poor me. It's like, so were millions of other people.
Exactly.
Right. And as we speak right now, as we sit down here, I went through a tough morning. There's millions of people out there going through way worse, right? It's all subjective, man. Like trauma is subjective. Like at least a bomb wasn't dropped on my fucking country.
I was just going through footage of kids in Uganda looking so happy in schools put on by this nonprofit that I've been doing work with. And I'm looking at them and they're just having a fucking blast. And I'm like, yeah, this is fine. What's going on with me right now? It's completely okay. But yeah, those people, it is hard to, and I've definitely seen it throughout, because I was constantly trying to get sober, you know, I didn't know how to do it. And one of the comments that I've gotten a lot from people since getting sober is like, I'm so happy that you got there because I watched you trying for years,
which
and
is
years
like the hardest thing.
Years. Exactly. And it wasn't good enough because I was trying to do it my own way. But I so aspired to get sober. And like the idea of, I see, and I had to cut people out of my life who they saw that and they were like, weak. I'm like, you're way worse than I am. And you're like using me as this example of like failure or something. You're not even trying. Okay. And like cutting them out of my life was easy. If that made sense. I don't know.
100%. I always say this, but it's like your motives were different. Your, you know, preferences change, right? And I always say this, I try to surround myself with people who are working on themselves. Right. That's it. You know, I don't care about how successful you are. I don't care about, you know, how important you are, how famous you are. If you're working on yourself, right, and you're being a good person, you know, you're trying, fuck man, come hang out with me. Like, you know. So I had a mom reach out to me last week, totally overwhelmed, not knowing how to help her 15-year-old son. She picked up what's wrong with my teen after I had mentioned it here and messaged me a week later saying she finally felt seen. That's why I bring stuff like this up. If you're a parent in the thick of it, confused, scared, or just tired, this book is a great place to start. Check the link in the show notes below.
What's funny is I thought it was kind of a liability. Like I didn't really even try dating for my first like 2 years of sobriety. And a big problem was like, I'm going through like dating apps and I'm looking at all these things and I'm like, they won't like me. I don't drink anymore.
Every time.
And I'm like, I'm not good enough for this, whatever. And then I took a break and I came back and I went and I met this, you know, now great girl that I've been seeing for a little bit. But one thing I've heard since, I don't know, just having a bit of a perspective shift is people are attracted to you if you're working on yourself. And I thought they would be attracted to me because I was life of the party. You know, it's like, no, you saw where that went, you know, and that's a lot of the feedback that I'm getting just from people in my life and stuff. Cause a lot of people reach out, you know, it's saying like, it's so great to see that you're working on yourself.
They just want authentic Tom. Right?
Yeah. My family likes that.
Yeah.
Cause I was not really authentic. I was a version of me. It was just a monstrous version of me, you know, it took up a lot of space.
Like a taker too, right? Like what can I get out of this situation?
Yeah. Purely selfish. I was thinking about this in a meeting yesterday. You know, I love that when you're hearing someone talk and you get this memory that you thought was completely lost. I remember being like 12 or 13, lying in my bed and thinking, am I the main character? I think I'm the main character. I think the world actually revolves around me. I think when I go to sleep, everything shuts down.
Yeah.
And then I soon after that started drinking. And it's like, oh, that kind of arrogance, like people grow out of that. You go into alcoholism where it's like, that is just selfishness bottled, you know, that what did not serve me well, you know, that self-importance carried on for the longest time. And it made me think about like when you have so much ego and you think you're so important in the world, that's so much work. That is so much work.
Yeah. A lot of pressure too.
So exactly. It's so much pressure, and getting sober and learning humility for the first time, almost 40 years old, was like true humility, you know? Humility is such a load off. It's acknowledging like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing here. Not just in recovery, like everything.
Yeah.
Being like, I don't know how to do this. Can you tell me how? Because for me, it got rid of this, like, I need to boost myself up so much and I'm so important. And I do have a job. Like I've been directing films and stuff, not great ones, but for a long time. And I always thought like, yeah, I have to play the part, you know, fake it till you make it, that you're the man and you know everything. And now I'm like, I want to go be a camera operator. Like I want to take lower roles now that 4 years ago, if someone told me that I'd be like going and working as a camera operator or something, I'd be like, well, my life failed. And now I'm like, I want to learn from other people. I want to see how everything works. I also want to have more fun too. Yeah. I don't need to be in control of things. I'm going to relinquish control to somebody else and say, hey boss, what do I do? And like, to me, that provides like a lot of freedom. And that's just one of the joys of, one of the gifts of sobriety, you know?
Is that not recovery in a nutshell?
Hey, absolutely.
Like, it's a great metaphor, you know? I don't know what I'm doing. Hey boss, higher power, God, you know, even, you know, mentor, sponsor.
Just people in the fucking program.
People doing it with more time than me.
Yeah. People who have what you want.
Exactly.
That's basically it. I mean, that's one thing I try and tell younger people is
simple.
Like, and I've got a sponsee now. It's like, he couldn't quite get it. And then we met and I hope this doesn't sound arrogant, but he was like, you're cool. He's like, I want what you have. And I was like, gotcha. I fucking got you, man. Because then right away he was like, tell me what to do. And I was like, let's fucking get into it. And he is thriving.
Yeah. And you've been in that exact situation.
Exactly,
right?
Man. We've all been right there. And when you're fucking 5 days in, first of all, we think we're special. Nobody could understand what I'm going through. Problems. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. For me, I'm the main character. And everybody's just a bunch of guys sitting back. We're like, have
a seat,
really, buddy?
Yeah. Have a coffee. Yeah. Have a seat.
Tell us your story. You're like, well, you guys wouldn't get it. Be like, pretty sure everybody in this room gets it.
Try us.
Yeah. I was listening to a guy, he's a scientist down in the States, in a meeting the other day, and he was telling his story, and he's like a nuclear physicist. And his life was so different from mine. But every time he came to this inflection point in his life and he made a certain choice, like the alcoholic choice, I was like, I would have made the same choice. Like I associated so closely with his thought processes. And that made me so happy about like, this is the commonality with everybody, you know? Yeah. We all come from completely different paths, but we have the same coding. You know,
absolutely.
Like you hear someone who's like, well, yeah, I was robbing banks, then I ended up in jail and I got out, I had to do a heist. I'm like, I couldn't be more different, but I get it. I totally understand that thought process.
When you hear the why behind it.
Exactly.
Right?
The why, the motivation.
Yeah. Do you have an example of something that comes to your mind when, you know, the alcoholic choice? I love that. I've never, you know, I haven't heard it said like that. You know, I come to a point in my life, I'm drinking, I'm drugging, I'm pissing people off, I'm stealing, I'm cheating, I'm lying. What does an alcoholic choice look like? Fuck
it. That's it. I think it's those two words. Fuck it. I know this is the wrong thing to do. I know that the better thing would be to do the responsible thing. Like I've got a huge thing I need to do tomorrow morning. I've been looking forward to it for so long. I know that I shouldn't have a drink. Fuck it. Fuck it. It's going to be different this time. And it's never different any time at all. And then you just ruin it. I just had a birthday a few days ago, 2 days ago. And I was at a meeting last night and I ran into an old sponsor and I was just saying, oh, this is like a perfect day. He was like, what would it have looked like if you were drinking? I said, well, I wouldn't have slept yet. I would still be up. And also, no, I would have drank the night before and then ruined the whole thing. I would have had to cancel all the plans that were made for me by friends who love me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and the two guys I was with, they're like, yeah, me too. Like, that's the alcoholic choice, you know, ruining your birthdays, ruining other people's birthdays. And then the worst thing is we make it through by the skin of our teeth. We don't create a really bad problem, you know? And then at the end of the day, we're like, fucking did that. And we're like, now I know I can do that. So I'm going to do it again. You know, that's how I always looked at things, was like, if I made it through,
If I didn't die
and I made it to my bed at some point, and I think I got through relatively unscathed, it's like I use that to level up my debauchery. Like, let's test the limits even further next time.
What else can I get away with?
That's why, like, you know, in my last 3 years of drinking and using drugs, it was like the longest I stayed up was like 2 days or something. By the end, the longest I'd stayed up was 2 weeks. Like, because it was like, oh, I made it to 4 days. Well, I can do 5 days next time. I can do 8 days. And like, that's not progress. Yeah. That is progress from the exact opposite direction, you know?
And to your point, I look at that and I can't help but think, we come into recovery, we get sober. Why can't I do that inversely?
Yeah.
You know, you got to do, son, you want to stay sober, you go into a whatever, recovery event, meeting, whatever you want, whatever you do to get sober. You're talking to your sober community, talking to a therapist. Anthony, you need to do this, this, and this. You need to, you know, go try a meeting, talk to your therapist, try praying in the morning. And then I'm like, well, I don't really want to do that, you know? And it's like, you start to do it. Right. And it's like, well, fuck, I did that pretty easily. Like and then you put together a certain amount of time, and then the exact inverse can happen, where it's like, what else can I do? I got a job that I've always wanted. I got a job that was, you know, never thought I would get. I got a promotion at work in sobriety. It's like, holy crap, I can do anything. I ran a marathon in sobriety.
Yeah. Like, it's because we're sinking before, you know, we're going down below ground, and we like it. Like, we're getting closer to the grave, and we're like, I'm cool. Look at me. I'm further down than the other people. As soon as you get up for air, you're just like, and if you're ready for it, you know, then it's like, okay, well, I've atrophied. I need to learn how to walk and stuff, but then you start picking up speed. And luckily, if you were really fucked, you start looking around and you're like, holy shit, why didn't anyone tell me? This is actually really great up here, you know? And then you start doing it, but it takes daily maintenance, you know? Otherwise, there's still a part of me that says, like, when I see someone maybe dead on the street, like passed out with a bottle of whiskey in a stairwell, I look at them and part of my brain still goes, lucky fucker. Because it's in there, because I'm an alcoholic. And I've accepted that will happen to me. And when it does happen, I'm like, yeah, it's like flicks me. And I'm like, I get it. I know you're still here, and that's fine. You know, it's just a matter of like not being mad at the fact that I am an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's the fantasy for you? Because I have that thought too, where it's like that, you know, fucking guy, you know, middle of the day for me, it's middle of the day in the elevator. I see some guy like constantly, you know, and I'm automatically assume he's, you know, responsibly using cocaine and having a great time. That's my first thought. And I'm like, that motherfucker, like he's getting away with it.
Yeah.
Right? What's your fantasy in that? Like, what does that look like?
The fantasy, what do you mean? Like,
yeah. So you see the guy on the street, like drinking and I don't know.
I saw a guy riding his bike holding a fucking Pilsner the other day. It just looked like a bike messenger kind of guy. And I'm behind him riding, and I'm like, that fucking guy, it's the middle of the day. He's riding along fucking College Street. And I'm like, that guy's so happy.
Living the dream.
Yeah. And then I see him move, and then I come around him and I look at him. I'm like, I don't think this guy slept. This guy he looks miserable, but in my head, I'm like, lucky miserle fuck.
Yeah.
You know, it just happens to me. You know, it did when I was out, you know, with friends on my birthday. It's like a guy, he got my friend, he got a rosé, and I'm like, I'm at there's people drinking all around me, you know, and I don't want the alcohol. I want the freedom to be able to drink the alcohol.
Yeah.
That's what I crave. And that's my alcoholism saying, maybe you can. And I have to always remind myself, like, no, I can't. You know, I just, like, if I'm allergic to bees, I'm not going to eat bees
or honey.
You know? I'm not gonna be like, oh, I just got some fresh bees. Let's make them angry, and
This is
then
a
open
different
up and
brand.
stick it on my face. You know?
It's a different brand of bees.
Exactly.
This one won't hurt me.
Yeah, I know. No, it's newbies.
Yeah. These bees are different.
I keep hearing this ad for this thing. It's like it's on all over, politics podcasts anyways. Freaking, what's it called? Pod Save America and stuff, and Bulwark. It's this pill that some fucking MIT, scientists figured out, that gets rid of the enzymes that make you hungover. So you take it before you drink, and apparently it's great. And I always go back to just like, well, that's why I stopped drinking. Was it? I mean, I was just hungover all the time. Maybe I could try this. Maybe just based on a feeling and an ad, I'll throw my life away. Yeah. And you know what it wouldn't do? Work. It wouldn't work, man, because that's for normal people. That's for people that have 2 or 3 drinks.
Yeah. Or 2 or 3 hangovers a year or a
exactly.
month.
They're like, well, I went out and I had 3 martinis and,
it was a rough night.
And exactly. And I'd be like, what's a martini?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't have a martini. I drink a box of wine.
Martini takes too long to make.
Fuck that. Fucking hose into my mouth. That, like, this 4 years ago, that backpack, there would be a box of white wine.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, it'd be gone because I was responsible. By responsible, I mean have all the booze on me at all times.
Yeah. You were prepared.
Of course I was prepared. I have never produced anything in my life as well as my alcoholism. Like, there was never a time when I would run out of anything. Like I used to set 3 alarms on my phone, say on a Friday night, because I'd be with friends. The 8:45 alarm meant that the liquor store was closing in 15 minutes. The 9:45 meant that the wine rack was closing, and the 10:45 meant that the brewery is closing. And so I would get the alarm and I'd look around and be like, everyone good? Everyone good? They'd be like, yeah. And then come 10:45, I'd be like, everyone fine? And they'd be like, no, we're good. And I'd look around and be like, no, we're not. We are not fine. We're going to be partying all night. Give me $600.
Alcohol went up.
I'd throw in my courier bag and buy 200 beers and come back. And then there'd always be extra wine stashed in my room, extra drugs, all those things. I knew where every liquor store was, when it closed, how much to the penny was in my bank account, because there wasn't much. And
easy to keep track.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As long as $100 bill came out of that bank machine, top of the
nothing
world.
else mattered. I didn't need to look at the balance, right?
Or a drug dealer that fronted me.
Yeah, that happened a lot too.
Oh yeah, I didn't know if it was $2,000 tabs.
Yeah, I don't want to know. Tell me later. Just sweep it under the rug, right? That's what I was doing.
I
constantly sweeping everything under the rug.
I love. There's this one episode of The Simpsons written by Conan O'Brien when he goes back to college, and they say, "Oh, Mr. Simpson, I can't. Your exams in 2 days and you haven't studied. What are you going to do?" He says, "I got a plan. I'm going to hide under a pile of coats and hope everything works out."
That's alcoholism.
That's alcoholism. Exactly. That's why I ignored my taxes for 12 years. Jesus. Turns out they don't like that very much. Yeah. And then when I did reach out to them, they're like, "We figured you were dead or you'd left the country. By the way, you owe us $100,000.
So that was a part of your amends process, or you did that in
I went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was lovely. It was wonderful. And it was funny because people were like, "Well, what about your credit?" I'm like, here's what my credit is. It got ruined by Blockbuster Video because I lost Night at the Museum. So that's how long I've had bad credit. So I don't care.
Yeah.
Now I've got a credit card. It's great.
Yeah.
And when I first got the credit card, they raised my limit to like fucking $3,000. So I was like, I couldn't sleep. I was like, what do I do? And I talked to my dad. He's like, that's what normal people have.
Yeah.
That's in case bad things happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, right. Responsibility. I'm a responsible citizen now. Yeah. So I'm still baffled by the benefits of
adult living.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, you mentioned responsibility there, and it's I like that one because it's like, you talk about the fantasy of freedom, this illusion of freedom that alcohol and drugs bring for me.
Yeah.
For me,
It's a misnomer.
Yeah, 100%. It's lack of responsibility, right? Like essentially.
Yeah.
That's what I miss the most is like, I don't want to wake up and be an adult today. I don't want to deal with all that stuff out there. I just want to fucking please Anthony.
Yeah. I want to be a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. My whole first year, and I still worry about this. It's the stupidest shit. My whole first year, I told myself, you're allowed to drink if you win a lottery more than $10 million. So I'm playing the lottery every week, getting a lottery ticket. And I'm like, please don't win.
Yeah.
And like, that is one thing that like me now, I've got over 2.5 years of sobriety.
Nice, man.
Awesome. Might make me relapse as if I got this massive windfall of money. You know, I've even planned it out. Like that's the hypotheticals. Okay, mom. So if I win the lottery, I'm signing it over to you. It's like, yeah, mate, let's worry about you winning the lottery first.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's probably going to happen because I'm the main character.
Yeah.
But hearing people who do get sober and then get a lot of money and make it through it, you know, it's like everything. Our sobriety, for me, the strength of my sobriety comes from hearing other people's stories and saying, oh, they could do it. So I guess I could probably do that too. And if I'm worried, I'll call that guy. I'll say, hey, I heard you speak about this and you made it through this. How did you do that?
Yeah.
And everyone's fine with saying, yeah, I just did it like this and call me every day. Cause that's what we do in recovery. You know, we keep each other sober. Yeah. It's a big part of, I do tell new people this is like, and it was so huge to me was going into meetings and hearing people tell their story and seeing them and they're so put together, you know, and they're telling their story. It's like, so I'm living in a tent and I'm smoking crack and all these things. I'm like, are they lying to me? Yeah. Because I just can't picture it. And hearing their story and seeing where they are, that's where the faith came for me. I was like, holy fuck, there is nothing special about this person. They just did honestly, this person, I think they have an IQ of like 98 and they're doing great. And so why it's not like, why can't I do this? It's, I can do this, you know, it's this perspective shift of, why can't I get sober? It's like, well, I can get sober. Just show me how to do it.
I just don't have the tools yet.
No, because I thought I did. Thought if I wrote enough lists, plans. Yeah. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this?
Listen to enough self-help books, and podcasts.
God. Yeah.
Not like this one.
No.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, man. You know, we come in here so broken and then there's that hope that gets instilled. It's like, if that guy can do it, why can't I do it?
Hope,
man.
If
that girl can't do it.
Yeah,
can do it,
absolutely. Hope is, you know, fucking Andy Dufresne got out of Shawshank, you know? Wait, that was about alcoholism, wasn't it? Stephen King.
I'm embarrassed, but I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
I gotta go
get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah.
And Stephen King, when he wrote that, he's an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You haven't seen that in a long time?
It's been a while. Yeah. I love Stephen King though. I've read a lot of his books.
I haven't read any of his books.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You have ADHD, right? Or yeah.
I just popped Vyvanse before I came. I'm feeling pretty good now.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm feeling nothing now, which is a good thing. Like, fucking, I didn't take one a few days ago, and I was like, "What's going on in my brain?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's a funny one for me because when we've talked about this before, but you know, outside help is really important. Sobriety, recovery, 12-step is not going to fix everything, right? You need outside help. And I went down that path of looking to fix my ADHD. I've come to realize that I don't have it because I was getting high off Vyvanse, you know, and I've come to realize that people that have ADHD and are taking Vyvanse and taking other medications that, you know, whatever, ADHD medications,
it's to normalize.
It just fixes their brain and it calms them down.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what it does to me.
Yeah. I never had that experience. Right. And so that was a little backdoor that my addict brain had planned for me. And that's essentially what led me down to my year-long relapse from hell.
It came from meds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steroids first.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Steroids first. And then that opened the door for medication.
Oh, yeah.
As long as I get a doctor to approve it.
Yeah.
I'm good. It's allowed.
It's a fucking slippery slope, man.
Yeah.
And we love going skiing.
Yeah. I love skiing.
You know?
Yeah. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
He hit his nose. If you're
Yeah.
listening.
Slalom, anybody? Moguls. My whole life, there was no easy skiing. It was moguls.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was really freaked out because I got diagnosed with ADHD at about 6 months. And it was, proper way. And the doctor, the psychiatrist was like, I got through an addictions clinic. And she said, you do the test, gave it to my parents, and then I did it. And she was like, yeah, you have ADHD.
Yeah.
And, but then she asked me, she's like, so what do you think, Adderall? It's like, if you want me to fucking die, like that's a party drug.
Yeah.
Like I saved Adderall specifically for when I'm in Manhattan because a buddy of mine, so much Adderall.
Yeah.
I had the Vyvanse for a few weeks because I was worried. It's an amphetamine, man. And I'd never done amphetamines, but then I, took one and I was like, oh, I don't feel anything. I feel so much calmer. Then I went up and up and up. Then I got too high and was like, too much. So I came down. And now if I feel like it's a bit too much, I'll open a pill and empty a bit out.
Yeah.
And because that's how different my life is now.
Yeah.
Like I got a little thing of white powder from emptying out pills. And it's because, that's a bit too much drugs for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say instead of taking 10 of them,
Yeah.
you're rationing, which is a foreign concept for us.
I put it into some caps and I gave it to a buddy who's got a newborn.
Yeah.
Because he's going through it right now,
Yeah.
and he needs a little oomph.
Yeah.
So whatever.
But to your point, it's like I did not follow the process properly. I lied on my test, and I was manipulating and doctor surfing and doing all the things. So, I mean, there is a right way to do things. The most important thing I think is that you told someone about it, right? And that's what I failed to do is like, I would tell people 10% of the truth. And I had one of my favorite counselors in Utah always used to say this is like, if you're robbing banks 10% of the time, but 90% of the time you're not robbing banks, you're still a fucking bank robber.
You're still a bank
And it's like,
You're
I
not
have
a
to be
diet bank robber.
bank robbing light.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to be 100% honest today.
I'm felony 0.
Yeah. I have to be 100% honest today. Right. And that's, it's important. I want to jump back to the analogy of like the director, because I think that's such a good analogy for addiction is like, so I'm the director of if you put it in the analogy of like the Shakespeare play, right? I'm the director, I'm the actor, I'm the guy cleaning the floor, I'm the sound guy, I'm everything.
You're
right?
one-man band.
One-man band.
Yeah.
I can't pass off anything to anyone else because don't you know, I'm the main character, like
Yeah.
you said. I love that.
I did that in my career. I've been making documentaries for a long time, and I had to be a one-man band. I did sound. I produced it. I directed it. I shot it. I edited everything because control. I thought I was the only person who could do it properly, and B, bringing someone else in, that the jig would be up. If I brought someone else onto my group, I toured with bands and made bike messenger documentary, like all of these things. Where first of all, it was fine for me to be drinking. If you're with musicians and you're like, oh, it's beer o'clock, 2 o'clock, it's like, well, they don't know I'm 9 beers in. Yeah. But also, if someone else came on who was not an alcoholic working with me within a day, they'd be like, this guy, he's not allowed to do this anymore.
Don't give him any more responsibilities.
But the work, it was good, like I was putting out good shit and I was having fun with it. That's one problem with being in the arts and getting fucked up all the time is like you use it as it's like, oh, it's not drugs. It's like I'm expanding my mind and I'm looking at things a different way. It's
a creative process.
It is. It was my creative process. I'd be before shooting something. I'd be like, hold on. And it was just 2 shots, and people like, should you be doing that? It's part of my process. Get out of here. If I'm shooting on tour with a band or something, I'd have beers stashed all over the stage. To be a big stage sometimes, and I had to be able to dip in, take a swig, and move on. And now I've made amends to a lot of the crew members that I've been with, tour managers and stuff like that, because I was a lunatic.
Yeah. Did a lot of them know? Like, was it obvious?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. But a lot of times it was kind of like, what are you going to do? Fire me?
Yeah.
You need me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they did.
Yeah. I can relate. People come in here sometimes, and even when I talk to them in recovery, and sometimes they're like, Nobody knew.
No.
And I'm looking at
That
it, I'm
is
like,
bullshit.
have you asked them?
Seriously. That is one thing I asked them is like, okay, you got a bit of time. Do you know? They're like, every time. I'm like, eh? Yeah. Like when I meet some guy like in a meeting or something and I'm like, how you doing? He's like, oh, I got 2 weeks. I'm like, I don't think you do. Like, I'm not going to say that, but that is the most terrifying thing. We're so acute to the smell when you get sober. I don't know if regular people are, but if regular people are, I wasn't fooling anybody. Nobody. I thought point. Because I was drinking a vodka Rockstar, like just smelled like Rockstar. No, vodka. I smelled like vodka.
If anything, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Those two.
I remember the day in high school when I discovered that if I wash my hands and I put Visine in, nobody could know I'm high. Because I was high in school, 24, like every class. Yeah. And that was one of the most dangerous like revelations of my life. It was like, okay, because think of how much time and energy you put into maintaining. Yeah. Like, God, that I didn't realize that I was about 8 or 9 months sober and I had that realization. And it was like, that is one of the reasons I've got so much extra space in my head. You get rid of these things that are such a huge part of your daily life. That take up so much of your energy. Hangovers, trying to just maintain that you're sober, like all of these things, you take them out. It's like, there's so much space to fill now. Also, like you get sober and your time triples. Yeah. Like my days are still like, if anyone's looking at this and you're worried that your life is speeding by, get sober. It slows right down in the best way possible.
Because you have all this time.
You have all this time. Like your days double or triple sometimes.
I want to ask you about, I'm curious about like the creative process and how that's changed now for you. Did you at any point find that you felt like you were missing that creative juices when you were trying to do it sober?
Yes. One time I was shooting some musicians on stage and it wasn't a big deal. It was something for a nonprofit. It was down at Yonge and Dundas Square. And like I had shot hundreds of shows, hundreds over the decades. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I was like, these just aren't looking. And I realized I don't have the guts. Like I was reckless in my shooting. I've been shooting since I was 19 or 18 or something. And so it was like, I had balls. Like I would go on stage, I went on stage once in, I don't know where it was, it's a pink pop festival in Europe. I went on stage while Rammstein was playing. Oh,
that's the heavy metal.
Yeah, there's
core metal. Fire
coming out of their face. I got so much trouble, but like I had those kind of balls.
Right.
And then when I got sober, at the end of the day, I was like, I clocked it near the end of the day, and I was like, that's what it is. I was like, all right, recognize it. And then I went and I shot with a band, big show. I don't know, 5,000 people or something at a casino, maybe a month ago. And I had shot with them so many times. It was the first time shooting them sober. And I recognized that. And when I was on stage, I'm like, you know what you're doing here? Overcome that
fear.
Yeah. And I went in and I was like, that's the best fucking show I've ever done. Because, and I was worried about this for a while, was my reckless courage about shooting stuff, throwing myself into things, like we try to conquer our fears so much in recovery, but like it's almost like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, yeah, it's just one of those.
I feel like you're just more,
overall it's a net gain. 100%.
I just feel like you're more responsible. Like you don't take the risks, right?
Exactly,
because you're like, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
the reward's not worth the risk.
Whereas like there are some things in life where risks are good, like reckless, like a lot of the things I've made could not be made by a responsible person.
Yeah.
They just, like I made a whole film about bike messengers. I was drunk on the back of a dirt bike flying through traffic,
Jesus,
like just reckless stuff. And I would have been too scared to do that sober,
for good reason.
Yeah. I mean, some of the films where I'm putting myself into a group of people or something that are like dangerous, and I'm going in with a camera and trying to put people at ease. It's like, I wouldn't I was reckless in my 20s or 30s or something. And like, there's no way I would have done that sober. No way. I'd say, hey, look at me. I'm drunk. Let's go. You know, and that got me a lot of access because documentary films access. Anyways, we're talking about my work. What are we doing? I wanted to ask you just about like, because I'm very fascinated by you going back out because you had years when I met you.
7.5, yeah.
7.5 years. And then when you went back out, I remember when you had just come back and like, what was overall, because you're doing great now. And like, I see you every few weeks or something. And I'm like, oh, he's like, you're calmer and calmer and calmer and calmer, you know, and you look so much healthier than you did before even too. And what's my question here? Overall, what did that do to you?
The relapse
and now being back.
Yeah.
How is it different?
I get emotional thinking about, thanks for saying that, by the way, because some days I feel like I'm not making any progress, you know?
Oh no, you are.
And it's good to hear that from an outside source because I trust you and I love you. But also it's like,
I love you too.
I forget about, and I'm particularly thinking about that one Monday where I went to that meeting.
And you said day one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that one too. That was
when I told you looked good outside the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one. And then, but I'm thinking about, there was one where I was just like, I must have looked awful. And, you know, back to what we were talking about, I thought I was fine, right? I thought I looked okay. I'm just coming back, you know, and it was when I had been trying to come back constantly and I was constantly relapsing. And I was with Michael, our good friend Michael, a lot, working with him. And I just couldn't get it. Like I couldn't get it together. I would get a couple days and then I would go back out and it was ultimately the meth and the fake Adderall and stuff like that. It was just like, I don't know. It was still serving me.
I know exactly that.
Yeah. Like it was still
I was stuck
me.
in that for almost a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly believe today I do not regret it. You know, I feel really bad that I had to pay and go back to rehab and take out loans and get help from my family again to go back to treatment. After going for the second time, like I really thought I was done, you know, but I vividly remember still kind of having cravings in Utah.
Yeah.
And, I must've had a reservation coming out of there, man, like that I still would, and this was ultimately it. I still thought that I could safely use ADHD medication.
It's conditional.
And be okay.
Yeah.
Conditional
You
surrender.
said this in a meeting that you spoke at a while ago, and that stuck with me. I made a video about it.
Oh, thanks.
Called Sobriety Can't Be Conditional. Yeah. And it was inspired by what you said there. It cannot be fucking conditional.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so hard because the only way we're going to do it is if we just say, you give up the fight. Cause we're fighting against it. Part of us is fighting against getting sober. And if there are too many things on that side that are fighting against you getting sober, it's not going to work. Yeah. You have to be able to deconstruct all of them and just rip them all down. And in that little window when there aren't any, you're just like, get me sober. Yeah. and I think that's the timing thing of everything.
Yeah. The little willingness, little window of willingness to do whatever it takes.
Complete defeat.
Yeah.
Of like I said, we are in a war. We're soldiers in a war that we are not trained for, you know, and we think we can do it ourselves. Like we didn't go to basic training. We didn't do any of these fucking things and we're trying to fight it ourselves. Like it's like me going up and like saying, yeah, I could pitch for the Blue Jays. Like,
why not? Yeah.
Why not? I think I can do it.
Yeah.
I had a dream about it. So just give me a shot. It's like, okay, I break my arm. I get hit with a ball.
Yeah.
I get laughed at, you know, like we're not trained for that kind of shit.
And it's not to like, there's an important distinction here. It's not that you can never, ever do that.
No.
Right. It's like, you can't just go blind into something with no training, like you said, right?
Totally.
You know?
Like I've been thinking a lot about skateboarding lately because I grew up skateboarding and it's like sobriety is so like recovery is so much like it, you know? When you start out, I know for me, I started way back in the 90s. When I started, I just was like, it was so like magical to me, but I didn't know what it was. And then I saw someone do a trick and I was like, how do you do that? And they showed me, you know, and I kept going and going and going, but I didn't then fucking say, all right, I know how to ollie. I'm going to ollie down this 10 stair, you know? No, I built up. Yeah. I built up to things or else I was going to get really fucking hurt, you know? And it is those two. recovery and the community and everything, the anarchy of it all too, like of the program that we're in and stuff, is so much like skateboarding to me. It's all about people helping each other and nothing but support. And like, you can go anywhere and if you just see someone else like skateboarding, and you're just like, I see you, you know? But it takes daily work, and you can't want to be sober and want to be a good skateboarder without working, without doing it, you know? Because I know for me, and like my first sponsor said this to me, he said, you're very much like me. Like, you came in and said, fix me. And I wanted to be fixed. And I truly in my head believe, like, I heard people saying, well, I've been coming for, 15, 18 years. I have 11,000 days, blah, blah, blah. I was like, why? You're fixed. You know, what are you still doing here? And, no, it's the maintenance of it all. Like, it's not the maintenance. It's like, you can't just get everything you want right away. And, it's the journey. It's the journey of it. It's learning new tricks. You know, I wouldn't give up, and I'll remember to the day I die, the day I first landed a kickflip. And then the first time I landed a frontside flip and a 360 flip. And like, those were seminal moments in my life. And, if you had just told me, hey, you're a pro skateboarder now, I would have missed all of those things, all those beautiful moments. Yeah. And it's the same way that, like, in my recovery, the first time I realized I went to a baseball game and I realized not only am I not craving beer right now, I don't have to drink anymore. It's not like don't drink. It's like, I don't fucking have to do that anymore. Like, those little things, they blow your mind. Yeah. You know, you're like, I didn't think I was capable of this.
For so long, the only choice was to drink.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, you finally have a choice to drink or not to drink.
That is like, crazy. That's still crazy to me.
The freedom.
You have to give yourself so much credit sometimes. Yeah. Because when people tell you, they're like, you're doing so great, a huge part of us just doesn't believe it.
Yeah. 100%.
We're just like, why are you saying these things?
They want something. Yeah.
I thought we were friends. Why are you lying to me?
Yeah. Oh, so
and
true. I do that all the time.
God, fucking, you know what? They should put it like at the beginning for new people, learn how to take compliments. Yeah. Because
it's a tough one.
The further you get in sobriety, buckle up, because it's all compliments all the time. People, when you run into people and they say, what happened to you? Look at you right now. Like, God, I've run into people at the gym or just old friends I used to party with. They're like, what the fuck happened? It's like, I got sober. They're like, oh my God, you look so great. And you're just like, no, you look so great. Yeah. Shut up. I got to go. You know, like, I can't take a compliment.
Yeah. They must think I'm fat. So, they're just
trying
to make me feel bad.
I have to deflect.
Yeah. Yeah. God, so true. I want to just circle back to that conditional surrender point, because it wasn't my, I wish I thought of that, but I heard it somewhere else.
I'm taking a quick pause to just.
Oh yeah, go. I mean, yeah, you can, I'll probably put this in here to show how cool
you are.
No,
yeah, don't. Sorry, I'm very addicted to nicotine.
Yeah. It's a tough one, eh? The nicotine pouches.
Okay, so I tried to quit. I was like, I'm going on the patches, doing the whole thing around New Year's. And I went 3 months. I didn't vape. I didn't smoke. I was just doing the gum and patches. And then I was like, all right, I'm ready. I cycled through the patches. The day after I went off the patch, I had the first real craving for booze in over a year.
Oh, wow. For alcohol.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it shook me so bad. And I couldn't quite, and it was in a meeting. I was sitting in a meeting when it hit me. And the next day it was still there. And the day after that it was still there. And it was kind of like, I looked at it like it was in a windstorm, like in, what's that? Like Interstellar, the movie where it's all the dust storms and all the dust comes in. It's like a window open and all this dust came in, and it took me time to sweep it out. But I quickly, told my sponsor about it, and he was like, why are you quitting nicotine? I was like, no reason. Like, really no reason. And but he was like, well, I was like, should I go back on the patch? He's like, well, yeah. And I realized, like, oh my God, like, my recovery is number one above anything, friends, family, everything. I am no good unless I'm sober. If the responsible thing for me to do is to start smoking again, life has been so good since then. And I'll try again in 6 months.
Exactly. Maybe it's just not your time.
You know why? Because I wasn't ready. Yeah. I was rolling up to that fucking 10 set, and I wasn't prepared to do it. And I took that leap. And honestly, if we look at it, our recovery is like, if we drink, we die. That was the closest I've been to death in a little in some time.
And
Quitting smoking almost killed me.
Yeah. That's going to be the tagline for this episode. Yeah.
Good. Get the thumbnail, man.
Quitting smoking. It's actually a good idea. But to your point, it's like, yeah, you weren't ready yet. And, but what I liked about that story is you did the most important thing and you told somebody about it.
Yeah.
And I always reiterate on here to do that, because that's the biggest mistake I made, man, was, again, back to that 10. I'm going to show you 90% of the truth, Tom, but not this little fucking fire back here.
Yeah.
I feel like drinking. I feel like drinking. I feel like drinking. I feel like drinking. I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm not telling anyone about it. I'm not telling on myself. So, I mean, that's the answer, man. Honestly.
It's worth, and it's so worth just deconstructing why,
yes.
what are those
what is this
things?
about?
Why am I afraid to tell somebody about this? And for me, a big part of it was like, I had some shaky times after I started sponsoring people because, well, I'm talking to these guys all the time. And like, I feel like I should be above this. And so I would get a craving and I'd feel shame about it. And I had to be reminded, you're an alcoholic. Like, of course you're thinking about booze. I was like a year and a half sober or something. Of course it popped up once in a while. And it was just about telling my sponsor. Of course I did have a sponsor that I switched sponsors, but I was afraid to tell. It wasn't a good match, my first sponsor, because I didn't want to tell him things because of what then he would really dig into it in the way that I wasn't responsive to. So I switched sponsors to Jason. And do we bleep that? No.
Just don't say his last name.
Yeah.
I love Jason. Jason's my boy.
Jason. And I have no problem telling him stuff. I say, this is what's fucking me up, because he's super supportive. He's like, yeah, man, like this, that's great, you know? And you got to surround yourself with people who you are completely open and you get addicted to being truthful. That's the thing. I got addicted to saying, I don't know. Oh, because I would never say that until I got sober. And like now when I realize like, I don't know anything, like, hey, what's that about? I say, I don't know. Let's figure it out. Instead of me saying, well, I know. And in your head, you're like, I don't know, but I hope they don't know that I don't know. Yeah. And then you just try and lie your way through something.
You fabricate a whole entire story or lie.
When I was early on, my first sponsor, he said, okay, so you admit that you didn't know, that you're wrong about how to get sober. I was like, yeah. He's like, now consider the option that you might be wrong about every decision you've ever made in your life.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah. I was livid. I was so angry. How dare you? And I did what was the best thing. I sat with it. For a bit, and I actually considered it. And was like, oh, fuck. And it's not like thinking like, oh, maybe I was wrong. It's like, no, but you could have been. You could have been wrong about everything. And so if you're looking at it through that lens about like, there's a really strong possibility that you've been wrong about a lot of things, it lets you off the hook.
Freedom.
Yeah, it gives you freedom to find what the real answers are, instead of like hiding under a pile of coats.
I love it. I'm going to hide under this pile of coats and hope it works itself out.
I'll send you the clip.
Oh, that's great.
It's one of Conan O'Brien's biggest contributions to comedy.
That's amazing. Let's, I feel like I just want to, round the corner on the conditional surrender thing, because a lot of people might be listening and a lot of people might not care about it, but a lot of people might be listening and say, you never explained it. So, because that happens sometimes. My wife's like, you never explained what you were going to go into. She doesn't sound like that. She sounds much more
Also, I'm an
beautiful.
ADHD riddled interrupter. So.
And I love you for it.
Yeah. I think Trump calls it the weave. I'm weaving.
Don't ever change, man. But yeah, it's like, I'll surrender. Sure. I'll give up drinking, but on my terms.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, as long as I get A, B, and C, I'll do what you say.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're brats. Yeah. We want what we want, you know,
ego.
And the hardest part, I think, is like, compartmentalization is so important to me. And it's not like, okay, I don't want to consider not getting what I want, or I didn't used to. It was like, yeah, but I have this thing in my head and I want that. So it's got to be that way. And it is really liberating saying, well, yeah, but what if it was just something different? Not better, not worse, just different, And that helps me say, oh, that doesn't sound so bad. You know, like, okay, you want to get sober, you can't do this. Be like, but I want to do that. Be like, well, what does your life look like if you don't do that? Be like, oh, I guess fine.
I never even thought about
it. Exactly.
That's your point.
You know, it's, there are certain, you just gotta change perspectives. And like getting sober, once you get a little bit of time, you're able to take a step back. And getting sober is the hardest thing because you're tunnel vision, you know, like you can't consider options. There are no, we are fucking, something happens, we react. Like we're not us, right? And so we can't deviate. We can't deviate from what we think is right and then therefore know is right, you know? And once you get a bit of sobriety, you take that leap and you get a bit of sobriety, then, and you start opening up to like, and have people surrounding you asking questions like, well, what would that look like if it wasn't exactly what you wanted? Right. And actually being receptive and saying, oh, well, it might look like this. And then them saying, well, is that bad? You say, no, it might actually be better.
Yeah, exactly.
And because we're alcoholics. Our alcoholic brains, they're going to put us one direction. We have to be surrounded by other people to help basically workshop our lives with us. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Just pivot, right?
Yeah.
Pivot perspectives.
And it's hard as men. It is hard as guys. Like
sure.
I think I'm like, what? It's 6-7 years older than you. What years did you graduate high school?
2010.
2010. Yeah, I'm 9 years older than you. Yeah. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't like pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It was figure it out.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it.
Figure it out, man. Stop bugging me with this. Figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Bosses were like that. Parents were like that. Everybody was like that, you know? And now it's like, that's why I love men's groups. Being surrounded by guys who are just like, none of us know what we're doing, you know? But if we all put our dumbass heads together, we might be able to figure this out.
Come sit with us and we'll try and figure it out together.
And we're going to make fun of each other while we're doing this.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of ribbing and stuff.
Yeah.
And don't get overly sensitive. But also you can be as sensitive as you want and in men's meetings.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're going to come to a solution together.
Exactly. Yeah.
Together.
So
right?
yeah.
Let's end with this, Tom, because I always end the podcast with this. But if you could say something to someone struggling right now with alcoholism, drug use, doesn't know if they want to get sober, is thinking about it, drinking's starting to cause some problems in their life, what would you say, sir?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say if you know that you're going to need to get sober, I don't know. This is tough. I try not to be preachy. Oh, here we go. It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I had put it on this pedestal. This is going to be the hardest thing I ever fucking did in my life. Because I was trying to do it by myself, and it was, it was clearly the hardest thing. I'd failed all the time. When I went to some meetings and was like, I looked at it like everything else in my life. If I don't know how to do something, I ask somebody, hey, how do I do this? You know, cameras, lighting, skateboarding, hockey, fucking bikes, anything. I say, hey, that's cool. How do I do that? Yeah. Apply that to your sobriety. If you don't know how to do something, ask somebody and just buy in. It's scary as fuck, man. It is so scary at the beginning, just like throwing yourself into it. But like anything else you're passionate about, when you throw yourself into it, you're like, this is fucking fun, man. Just throw yourself into sobriety. Like everything else, every skill set that we have, that we throw ourselves into and we get good at, we're like, fucking, I'm proud of this. But like sobriety, that's not a skill set. That's every skill set, you know? Like there is a better version of you inside. Like Jason said to me, he's like, it's recovery. We're recovering ourselves. We're recovering the old version of ourselves. And there's a lot of shit on there. And so it is a cliche, you know, reach out for help. Just fucking find someone who you associate with that looks like your kind of person and who's sober and say, hey, I'm fucked. They'll say, so was I. Come on in. Yeah. And then go for it. You know, like there's I was hopeless. I was completely hopeless. My last bender was the first time in my life I thought about committing suicide. And I thought that I had peaked. I thought my life was over. Mm-hmm. And very quickly after that, like within months, I was like, holy shit, I was wrong. I so badly, I could wish that I could go back to like that version of me and say, it's going to be fine, man. Just shut the fuck up. Get over yourself and go out and fucking, I don't know, just switch your perspective. Yeah. That's basically it. How many things did I just cover?
I love it. That's great. I don't know what I'm going to say, but here's 10 things that I'm going to say.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Thanks so much for coming down, buddy. I love you, Tom. I appreciate you, buddy.
I'll come back anytime.
Yeah, and we'll have you.
All right.
Thanks for listening. Please help us grow the channel and like, share, and subscribe for more content. The discussions and stories shared on this podcast are for informational and motivational purposes only. This content is not a substitute for professional medical advice, addiction treatment, or therapy. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please consult a licensed physician, addiction specialist, or mental health professional. You are no longer alone.